more than 7,000 years ago, long before the pyramids of Egypt pierced the horizon. Southern Mesopotamia was a land unlike any other. There were no great cities, no kings wearing golden crowns, and no mighty armies marching across the plains. Instead, an endless landscape of marshes, reeds, and open floodplains stretched beneath the blazing sun. Through the heart of this wilderness flowed the mighty Euphrates River, a river that gave life, yet could also bring destruction. Every year, the Euphrates flooded its banks. As the waters spread across the plain, they left behind a rich layer of fertile silt. For a brief time, the land became perfect for farming. But the blessing never lasted. As summer arrived, the waters disappeared, leaving the soil cracked and dry beneath the relentless heat. Crops withered. Harvests failed. Families faced hunger once again. Life depended entirely on the river's unpredictable rhythm. Then, sometime around 6000 BCE, a remarkable idea emerged. Instead of waiting for the river to decide their future, the people decided to shape it themselves, using simple wooden tools, stone hoes, and woven baskets. They began digging narrow channels from the Euphrates into the surrounding fields. These first irrigation canals were small and crude, carrying only enough water to nourish a handful of crops. Yet they represented one of the greatest turning points in human history. For the first time, people could bring water exactly where it was needed. Fields that had once been dry and barren suddenly turned green. Barley ripened under the sun. Wheat grew in abundance. Date palms flourished along the riverbanks. Vegetables filled gardens that had once been empty. Food became more reliable than ever before. As harvests improved, life began to change. With every successful harvest, more people settled nearby, and every new family helped dig another section of canal. Slowly, the landscape itself began to transform. What had once been an empty floodplain became a patchwork of fertile fields, connected by shimmering waterways. The canal spread farther each year, reaching land that had never before been cultivated. Every new channel brought another harvest, and every harvest brought another opportunity for growth. But these canals demanded constant care. Maintaining the canals required cooperation on a scale humanity had never attempted before. Entire communities worked together to clear silt, strengthen embankments, and dig new branches. No single family could manage such a massive task alone. Water became a shared responsibility. And with that responsibility came something equally important: organization. Leaders emerged to coordinate labor. In many ways, the irrigation canal became humanity's first great teacher. It taught people how to cooperate, how to plan, how to share resources, how to build a future together. Without anyone realizing it, the foundations of civilization were already being laid. The canals continued to spread. Season after season, more channels reached deeper into the fertile plains of southern Mesopotamia. Every new canal brought fresh farmland. Every successful harvest attracted more families. Small villages slowly merged into larger communities, and the quiet floodplain began to fill with life. As more land was irrigated, more crops were harvested. As more crops were harvested, the population grew. As the population grew, new homes, workshops, and temples were built. The cycle repeated again and again. Uruk wasn't simply getting bigger. It was becoming something the world had never seen before. Around 4000 BCE, the transformation accelerated. The canals no longer served only farmers. They became the lifelines of an entire city. Merchants traveled hundreds of kilometers to reach Uruk. They brought cedar wood from the mountains of Lebanon, copper from Oman, precious stones from Iran, and other rare materials that southern Mesopotamia could not produce itself. In return, Uruk exported grain, wool, textiles, pottery, and finely crafted goods. The city grew wealthier with every passing year. As food became abundant, society began to change in remarkable ways. Not everyone needed to spend their lives farming anymore. Some became skilled potters, shaping thousands of clay vessels. Others became metalworkers, crafting stronger tools from copper. Builders raised larger structures from millions of mud bricks. Merchants organized long-distance trade. Priests devoted themselves to worship and administration. For the first time, an advanced urban society was emerging. Organized canal maintenance. Distributed food to workers. Supervised trade. In many ways, the temples served as the city's first government. Taxes collected. Trade goods recorded. The old method of relying on memory was no longer enough. By 3100 BCE, Uruk had reached a scale unlike anything humanity had ever witnessed. Its population may have exceeded 40,000 to 50,000 people, making it the largest city in the world. Massive temple complexes rose above the skyline. Bustling markets echoed with the voices of merchants from distant lands. Boats crowded the canals from sunrise until sunset. Fields stretched endlessly beyond the city walls, all nourished by a vast network of irrigation canals. Everything was connected. The farmers who grew the grain, the workers who maintained the canals, the merchants who carried goods, the priests who governed the temples, the scribes who recorded every transaction. Each depended upon the same precious resource. Yet beyond the fertile horizon, other cities were rising. They too were digging canals. They too hungered for power. And before long, the peaceful race to build would become a struggle to survive. The age of city-states, rival kings, and great empires was about to begin.
Kingdom harnessed the power of the rivers,
BCE,
transforming Uruk into a vibrant center of law, commerce, and agriculture. At its peak, the vast irrigation network supported a thriving civilization. Uruk became a center of unprecedented agricultural wealth and commerce. As the old Babylonian Empire declined, the city of Uruk endured, sustained by the ancient irrigation canals. Daily life and trade continued uninterrupted. As the waters returned to the canals, Uruk underwent a rapid rebirth. The diligent work of farmers and merchants revitalized the environment. As the waters returned to the canals, Uruk underwent a rapid rebirth. The diligent work of farmers and merchants revitalized the environment.
Grain from these
This
farms
sweeping
fed
panorama
soldiers,
reveals the height of
craftsmen,
Kassite prosperity,
and
where
growing
careful
cities
water
across the
management
empire.
sustained
Trade
thriving
flourished as boats carried goods along
This
rivers
panorama
and
of
canals,
Uruk reveals the late
connecting
Kassite
distant
kingdom at
regions
its peak,
under a single
a
government.
peaceful and
For
prosperous
nearly 2
era sustained
centuries,
in time.
the empire prospered.
This
But no
panorama of
empire
Uruk
lasts
reveals
forever.
the late Kassite
A
kingdom at
series
its
of
peak,
droughts reduced
a peaceful
harvests.
and prosperous
Internal
era sustained in
rebellions
time.
weakened royal authority, and invading Gutian tribes from the Zagros Mountains swept into Mesopotamia. As political order collapsed, many
The
canals
restored
were neglected.
irrigation canal became
Yet
Uruk's
Mesopotamia
economic
refused to
lifeline,
disappear.
supporting bustling
This period
harbors and
became one of the
thriving
greatest
markets across
renaissances in
Mesopotamia.
Mesopotamian
All
history.
shipments must be
Agriculture
inspected before
expanded,
they enter the
trade
granary.
recovered, and
This
monumental
grain is
building
approved
projects
for
resumed.
storage. Record the
prosperity
tax
of your
accordingly.
three once again
All
proved a
shipments must
timeless
be
lesson.
inspected before
When
they
the
enter
canals
the granary.
flowed, civilization
This grain is
flourished,
approved for
but
storage.
history continued
Record
to
the
move
tax
forward.
accordingly.
After the fall of your three
By
around
1200
2004
BCE, Assyrian influence
a new
stabilized
power emerged
Uruk.
in central Mesopotamia,
Trade flourished
Babylon,
under the new administration.
during the reign
Yet,
of Hammurabi.
utilizing advanced
1792
engineering,
to
the
1750
Assyrians
BCE.
constructed powerful new sluice
Babylon
gates and
united much of the
embankments.
region under
The
one
irrigation
kingdom. Hammurabi
Harnessing the power
understood
of
the
the canal,
importance of
the
irrigation
Neo-Assyrian
just as
capital
earlier rulers
flourished.
had.
This
His
sophisticated
government
network
repaired
brought
canals,
unprecedented
expanded agriculture, and strengthened trade across the fertile plains. Under his rule, cities like Uruk remained important centers of farming, commerce, and religious life. Even after the old Babylonian kingdom declined, Uruk endured for many centuries. Although political powers rose and fell, the city's ancient canals continued to support daily life. Farmers cultivated the same fertile fields, merchants sailed the same waterways, and generations preserved the engineering. Knowledge first developed thousands of years earlier. Uruk eventually declined as rivers changed course and trade routes shifted. By the 1st century CE, the once great city was gradually abandoned. Its temples crumbled, its canals filled with sand, and the bustling streets fell silent. Yet Uruk's greatest achievement never disappeared. It proved that by mastering water, humanity could build cities, governments, writing, trade, and civilization itself. The story of Uruk is not simply the story of one city. It is the story of how a network of irrigation, canals helped change the course of human history forever.